Hi, I'm TashTheMinion with another episode of my beginner's guide to the Long Dark. Today we're going to take a quick peek at Mystery Lake. Mystery Lake is relatively central on the Great Bear map. The weather is not too bad compared to some of the other regions. Wildlife is abundant, making it a very popular area to set up base camp. You can spend a very long time here. The region has a large lake, hence the name, which is surrounded by forested hills, and there can be a chance of some birch bark if you keep your eyes peeled. Aggressive wildlife are less than some other regions too, but there are wolves, bears and moose spawns. Now, as always, I try not to do too much in the way of spoilers, but it's worth visiting the lookout tower. This sign is a clue to its location. Then there's the logging camp, which has 3 trailers for you to loot. It's also a safe place for you to rest in. And as you explore the region, you'll find other useful locations, the odd cabin and some caves. Now, there is a rail line that cuts through the region from one side to the other, which acts as a useful landmark to orientate yourself. Following the line takes you to Forlorn Muskeg in one direction and the dam and ravine in the other direction. There are 3 main structures in Mystery Lake. Trappers, which is where we started this episode, the camp office and the dam. The camp office is the most popular area to set up base as it's right on the lake and has lots of wildlife around. So we're going to head there and do some fishing. Now, as I was heading to the camp office, I came across this deer carcass and I thought this is a great opportunity to give a useful tip. I've mentioned in previous episodes that they are great for finding feathers, or if you need food you may need to light a fire to defrost it to at least 50 degrees. But if you don't need it, don't touch it. It won't despawn, so you can pick up any further feathers, come back to it at another time. But if you interact with it in any way, even to just see how much meat may be available, it will immediately start to decay, and within a couple of days it will disappear. Here we are at the camp office. I'm not taking you inside, no spoilers where I can help it. But you can see it's a great location. You can see the lake and in the distance one of the ice fishing huts. Now, I had paused recording to sleep, but an Aurora has just started, so it's a great time to talk about them. Auroras provide limited power and make lights, radios and lamps work. They also make connected wires in buildings live. So be careful, as you will be electrocuted if you walk on them, or indeed if you sleep on them. The Auroras themselves are absolutely beautiful, but in all levels except Pilgrim can be deadly, as wolves and bears turn into Aurora wolves and bears, which are harder to kill and deal even more damage if you're attacked. Now, if you find one of these flashlights, don't leave it because the battery is dead. They actually charge and work during an Aurora, and they're a useful deterrent from wolves. When the wolf is close to you, flash the light from low to high beam. One of the afflictions to your health is cabin fever. And you get this from spending too much time indoors. If you set up a base in the camp office and you're doing a lot of crafting, it's likely you will get a cabin fever risk notification. I want to show you a safe cave very close to the camp office where you can safely sleep to cure the risk. It's a useful cave as it's still near the lake and wildlife. There are no aggressive wildlife in the area, except for the bunnies, if you want to count the bunnies as aggressive wildlife. So when you come out the camp office, you go, keep the rock on the right and kind of follow the path up, and we're heading sideways, if you like, behind the rock. And you can see where we've come from there. Head through the trees. Don't go too high. You can see the lake down on the right, on the floor, at the bottom of the hill. Again, keep these rocks on your right. We're going past this single birch. Keep going through the trees, and now you can see a kind of pathway in front of you. When you get to this sort of little pathway, turn left and follow it up. And as we start going up this little hill, the cave will be virtually opposite us. Got bunnies here, so you could do a little bit of bunny killing. There are some saplings up here as well, if making a bow and arrow or a travois your ticket. Here's a cave, and it's a nice safe spot for you to rest in and recover from cabin fever. There are a few fishing huts on the lake, and if you craft a fishing line, it can be a great source of food. Also, if you cook the fish, you get the oil back, so it's a really useful way to get oil for lanterns. We now have this scurvy affliction, so the vitamin C in fish is really good to stave off that affliction, especially late game as food resources become scarcer. And as we walk towards the hut, you can see some cabins in the distance too that you can go and explore. Fishing huts have potbelly stoves, and if you're here in a blizzard or at night, you'll need to bring enough fuel to keep yourself warm. These huts are not warm places. You'll need to start by breaking the ice. If you haven't already, use hook and line to craft fishing tackle. Then you can fish. Add the lure if you have one. This is supposed to make fishing more successful. You can fish for a number of hours. I would suggest you only fish for an hour at a time, because it's really important to keep an eye on your temperature and the weather. So we'll do this first one for an hour, see what we've got. Wow, we caught one fish. So let's do another hour and see what we get from that. 1, 2. Okay, now a word of caution. Apart from pilgrim, you want to be careful. Carrying around fish or meat, whether it's cooked or not, will give you a smell indicator which you can see in your status. The more you carry, the higher the level, with 3 being the highest. Even 1 level will attract wolves and bears, so it's best not to carry it around with you if possible. I mentioned earlier cooking the fish also gives you oil which you can use in lanterns. You can see this in the top right of the game screen when you take the cooked fish from the stove. Now our final destination in Mystery Lake is to the dam. The dam is one of the largest single structures in the Long Dark and can be used as a base, but it is dangerous in Auroras due to the wires everywhere. Following the railway line takes you right up to the dam. Watch this bridge though. It can be patrolled by a wolf. And if you come the back way from the lake, there can be a moose as well. Here we are at the hydro dam. There's a few trailers outside. If you went straight on, you would head into the ravine, and through the gate is the dam building itself. So that's the end of today's quick peek at Mystery Lake. I hope you enjoyed the episode. See you next time. Bye.